नमस्कार. आम्ही फुडल्या सत्राक सुरवात करतात. नॅशनल कॉन्फरन्स ऑर्गनायज करतना आमकां एक गजाल लक्षात आयली. आमचे प्रेझेंटर्स जे भायल्यान आयल्यात म्हळ्यार मैसूरच्यान दिल्लीच्यान तांकां हांगा जाता तितले तुमच्या कडेन उलोवपाची संद दिवंक जाय. आणि जेन्ना आमी पेपर प्रेझेंटेशन्स घेता तेन्ना आमकां खंय तरी ती आडखळ येवपाक लागली, कारण गोंयचेय बी एक्सपर्ट्स असले आणि गोंया भायलेय बी एक्सपर्ट्स असले. म्हणटकच नॅशनल ट्रान्सलेशन मिशनच्यान आमच्या कडेन 2 एक्सपर्ट्स आयल्यात. एक विन्स्टन क्रूज तशेंच बिस्वदीप गोगोय. दोगूय जाण नॅशनल ट्रान्सलेशन मिशनान मैसूर फाटल्या साबार वर्सां सावन काम करतात. तांची वळख काल तुमकां सगळ्यांक केल्ली आसा. तांच्यांनी आमची एक विनवणी स्विकारली. हांगा एक सत्र घेवपाचें, सब टायटलींग तशेंच ट्रान्सलेशन एज अ करियर ह्या विशयाचेर ते हांगा मार्गदर्शन दितले. हांव विनवणी करता सेबी फर्नांडीस हांचे लागीं तांणी सत्राक सुरवात करची. देव बरें करूं.
सत्रा उपरांत जेवणाचें सत्र सोंपले उपरांत पयली सत्राक तुमकां सगळ्यांक येवकार. हे एक्चुअली सत्र जेन्ना प्लॅन आवट जाल्ले तेन्ना एक्चुअली हांगासर सब टायटलींग आनी ट्रान्सलेशन एज अ करियर हे एक्चुअली 2 विशयांचेर एक्चुअली पेपर प्रेझेंट जावपाचे आशिल्ले. भुरग्यांची एक्चुअली मागणी डिमांड आशिल्ल्यान की आमकां ते एक्चुअली पेपराच्या बदलाक आमकां एक्चुअली इंटरॅक्शन सेशन दवरचे ही एक्चुअली त्यांची मागणी आशिल्ली. आनी हे मागणेक आयोजकांनी एक्चुअली पाळो दिलो आनी सांगलें की हे आमी एक्चुअली सत्र आसा पळय ते इंटरॅक्टीव सेशन जावनी. हांगासर एक्चुअली दोगूय म्हजे वाटेन एक्चुअली बशिल्ले आसा दाव्यान आनी उजव्यान. ते एक्चुअली पेपर सादर करचे नात, ते एक्चुअली इंटरॅक्टीव सेशन जातले. हय हे एक्चुअली सत्रान दोगूय जाण जे आमचे प्रवक्ते आसा, उलोवपी आसा, स्पीकर आसा, ते हांगासर एक्चुअली जरी तर 2 मिनटांचे उलयले जाल्यार तुमी ते तुमचे कडल्यान आमकां हिंगा 3 मिनटांचो क्वेश्चन येवंक जाय. वळख करपाचें आसा. म्हाज्या रायट सायडीन उजव्यान बशिल्लो आसा तो विन्स्टन क्रूज. एक्चुअली वळख जालीच आसा. ते एक्चुअली म्हाजे पयलीं कलीग एक्चुअली हांव जेन्ना मैसूर आसलो तेन्ना. विन्स्टन क्रूज हे एक्चुअली मास्टर्स इन लिंग्विस्टिक्स आनी एमफील इन एप्लायड लिंग्विस्टिक्स. आनी जे म्हाज्या दाव्यान बशिल्ले आसा बिस्वदीप गोगोय, ते मास्टर्स इन कल्चरल स्टडीज आनी एक्सपर्ट इन लोकलायझेशन स्पेशली. हांगासर एक्चुअली आमचे आतां 2 एक्चुअली टॉपिक्स जे एक्चुअली आमी कालच्यान एक्चुअली उलयताले. ट्रान्सलेशन जालें, इंटरप्रिटेशन जालें आनी कितें जालें. हांगासर सब टायटलींग ते एक्चुअली चडशे फिल्माचे डॉक्युमेंटरीचे एक्चुअली नॉर्मली जाता. सो आमी ते एक्चुअली सब टायटलींग कशें जातलें जावं ते एक्चुअली तेका जोडून मातशें वॉयस ओवर आसता, डबिंग आसता, कॅप्शनिंग आसता, क्लोज कॅप्शनिंग येता. सो ताजेर एक्चुअली खोलायेन एक्चुअली हांगासर डिस्कशन विथ इंटरॅक्टीव सेशन. या सो एक्चुअली हांव आतां मागता आतां विन्स्टन क्रुजा कडेन तेणें एक्चुअली आपलो एक्चुअली एक्सपिरियन्स जावं ते एक्चुअली सब टायटलिंगाचेर उलोवपाचें. क्रूज एक्चुअली आय वूड एक्चुअली रिक्वेस्ट यू टू एक्चुअली टेक द इनिशिएटीव. परत एकदां सांगता, इंटरॅक्टीव सेशन जावं आनी प्रश्न आहा जाल्यार मदेंच हात वयर काडपाचो. हांव तेका सांगयतालो, प्रश्न तुमी विचारूंक जाता.
Good afternoon, everyone, and respected chair, all the people on the dais. I'm very glad, especially to stand here before Professor Singh. He was the one who appointed me. Where I am today standing, it's because of him. That I can never be more grateful than to acknowledge him here. Okay, so that's one thing. I've been asked to kind of introduce what is subtitling, because you're a younger audience, right? And then also take questions and more about the opportunities in localization. Of course, Biswadip will talk. But before I do this, I want to touch upon 2 or 3 things that I left out yesterday because of time constraints, right? Yesterday, how many of you were here? Okay, most of you were here. Okay. I remember when she was here, she said subtitling is better than dubbing for one of the particular sequence. Okay, so subtitling. Yesterday we were talking about all these AI tools. The recent advancements, some of those things we have left out. One is that in the recent, in December, if you know, there was one Kashi Tamil Sangamam 2. This year it was the second event. It happens for a month, right? Which the government organizes, and the Prime Minister was speaking in Hindi, and the speech was, on the fly. It was translated and interpreted, people heard it in Tamil, right? On the go. So the tool was called. It's in the making, still in development. Called Bashini, right? So not Bashinai, okay, that is another thing. Google is bringing out one more AI tool. It is called Gemini. How many of you have heard about it? Gemini, not Gemini, Gemini. That's right. The Bashini is Bashini, of course. Gemini. Google is bringing Gemini. There's one more AICT has developed. We was telling about it yesterday. That Anuvadini, AICT, you all know, right? Council for Technical Education, already a Council for Technical Education. They have brought up Anuvadini. It is already available. You can all use it. It has different things. One of them is called Bharat Tube. Okay. So if you have a YouTube video which is in English, right? What you can do is you can upload it there. The URL. You can put it there. You don't have to download and upload. Just give the URL there. Then it will it will translate, right, and present it to the language that you choose, right? It works. We have demonstrated it. I have among our colleagues, of course, there, I had a 1 minute short YouTube, my own thing created for that purpose, and that was done, and it comes not yet in Konkani, of course, but in most of the other languages like Hindi, Tamil, right, Bangla, it is quite good, right, in that sense, with all the pitfalls of any a tool that translates. So these are the things that I wanted to tell you. It is there in the paper, this Anuvadini, Bashini, but I couldn't say that, tell about them yesterday. Another thing is this, one more tool, okay, the recent and the latest. You all know about plagiarism detector, right? Tools we have. So the latest in that series is a AI developed tool, right? AI enabled tool for detecting AI generated content. So, so if you're writing your paper using all these AI tools, right? The machine will now detect, which is also AI developed. Okay. No, it is a reality. You can check. It is available. So you can upload your paper or any paper and you find out whether it is AI generated or not. And there are easy ways to find that out. Okay, coming to subtitling. See, subtitling, we have seen changes in different fields now, especially in the media that we saw. There is no more the clan of sub-editors, right, in the media houses anymore. So correspondents directly submit, right, their news stories to them. Like that, subtitling is one field affected by the same kind of things, right, that has been affected, that has affected other fields, right, in media. So subtitling is no more restricted to films or dialogues, right, because of the kind of communication that we are having, things that we are having, the videos that we are watching, right, news things that we are watching. So it is no more restricted to the film watching, what we used to have. The older people will recognize it on Doordarshan Sunday 1 o'clock. The regional films with subtitles, right? Like we used to watch all Assamese and Bangla, any movie like that, right? So it is no more those kind of thing. So some of you are old enough to recognize that I can see, right? So people, like me. Okay, so it is no more restricted to only films, right? So something like this. This is a YouTube help video on AdSense, right? YouTube AdSense, and you will find that closed captions. You can find that you can choose your language, subtitles. You can choose your language, right? And this is generally like what you get in English, right? You can get the transcript that is auto-generated in YouTube, but this is not, right? These are done, right, by people like us who are engaged for that purpose, right? So that has been done, right? And you can select the language and you can see for these kind of videos, right? Each one has its own problems and difficulties and things, advantages, right? Okay, so you have something like this, right? Then you have something like karaoke videos, right? -1 tracks, if you know, right? So you'll get only the music and the words will appear there, no singing will be there, you can sing along. And you'll have this lyrics and you'll have color clues on the lyrics, right? That will come like that. You have finished this, next is this, that kind of. So all these are subtitling, okay? Not just like what we saw as translations of the dialogues or those kind of things. So, so let's come to the films, right? So if we want to touch upon all those things, then we won't be able to finish it today. So how do films communicate? Films, as we know, from the keynote address, yesterday sir was talking about Charulata, the opening scene, right? He mentioned, right, what the lady saw through each of those windows, and he had to tell that she carried a book by Bankim Chandra, right, and he also sang. See, to tell you about one scene, right, he had to tell about all those things, right? Yet I don't know how many of us got the complete picture if you have not seen the film, right? But to describe it, right? That's the experience. That's the experience, because he wanted to represent that entire experience to you, right? So it has all those elements, right? So films, right, are what we see there is one, that image, the photographic image, right? The video that you see, right? That this lady holding a book and walking and coming, right? Then the language, right? The book, name of the book, probably it is there, name of the author is there, right? So right, that she's carrying this kind of thing. Then there are dialogues that appears, right? So in film, meaning is represented through all these things, right? There is a picture that is presented to you, and somebody is standing and speaking, or somebody is not there, still speaking, right? You hear their voice, right? There are dialogues, there are songs, and there are graffiti, written messages here and there, somebody is reading a newspaper, or there are signboards and name boards, all those things, right? Now they are using it for advertisements too, brands are being advertised, right? When hero and heroine dance, in front of a Coca-Cola, thing like that. So all those things have, come, right, within the same, space that we want to get the meaning out of it, right? So then the sound, of course, contextual sounds, right? All those from bike starting or horror films, right? And we have music, background music, right? Those kind of things, and all these come together. They are put together to give you an experience of watching that film, right? And bringing that meaning to you. So everything conveys, the tap leaking to everything, right? Some, money called film, the camera will be always moving, right? It's not stationary, right? So you move with the camera, right? And those days where trolley shots were very difficult, right? Now you have all these things that move the cameras, right? Yeah. But those days everything had to be moved, physically, right? The camera had to be moved, but yet you will see there is no frame that is still, every time the camera is moving, that kind of very challenging kind of filmmaking people have done, all that to bring that meaning to you, what they wanted to convey, right? So when you are engrossed in that kind of right, experience, and if I asked you, please read those things, below too, right? Like, how will you feel? Right? Subtitling is a problem there, that is, yeah. It's a distraction in, essentially it's a distraction, right? That it's an extra effort, right? Sometimes it can actually be a very rewarding experience. Yeah. Since you don't know the original language, you accept it, right? But the film experience as such, right? That is one part. Then apart from that, you have to now read, right? That. So that is the kind of, it's called, it's a multimodal, presentation, right? Because different modes are used and you have it written by these people, right? Cruz, and it's a famous book. You can download it if you want, right? Published by Roulette or whatever you call it. So, in translating, right, films, we have two things, right? One is dubbing and one is subtitling. Of course, dubbing, right, in Germany, Italy and all, it was initially it was done to defend their national language kind of thing. Within the European setup, right, they wanted to have that space, say that, we want to hear our language, right, and national language and things like that, right? And dubbing, of course, removes the otherness, right, that you simply watch and you feel you watched something in your own language, right? Most of the times, if it's a good, nicely dubbed, properly dubbed film, right? So you don't feel that you are watching something else, right? Especially so many Tamil and Telugu movies you see in Z movies and those kind of things that are being translated, Rowdy Number One and this, that, something like that and all, Shanghai, this thing, something like that. So many funny names, right? People watch. Okay, it's not that only some rowdies watch that. It's not like everybody watches that. They have very high. It's seriously I'm saying it's not that I'm just trying to put those words so that you get the feel of what I'm trying to say. Everybody watches, right? There is a crowd for all those things. So dubbing can really hide the original. That is one thing. So you want to. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Give.
Like I work in disability sector. Whatever you said applies us for them. Visually impaired. A bank doesn't give a voice output in a ATM.
Yeah.
Okay. Or in any government organization, any organization.
Some ATMs do, IDFC.
I'm telling you, some don't give.
Yeah.
Okay. Then some banks, supposing there is no ramp, there may be a lift. Lift doesn't have braille on that outside. Inside, no voice output. How the person will first and second, or voice output is there, braille inside is not. All these issues I'm telling you.
Sure.
When these issues come up, I have a mechanism to work when it is not happening. Like I will complain to the state commissioner or central commissioner, correct? Or the state nodal department. Something is there, mechanisms are there. Or issues like, say, YouTube, then your various apps. For instance, in Goa my app, taxi app, visual impaired can't access because CAPTCHA they can't, it is not, it is inaccessible.
Sure.
I'm giving you an example. But for all these,
some captures are audible now.
yeah, so I have a mechanism to redress. Now here I am bringing you. Now what happens is banks, some nationalized banks, some jingles come on radio or somewhere on TV. Konkani is there. God knows who has done this. That is how this. Because it is sometimes machine language. Where do I address this? One, not only one issue. Several places, same story. Some banks have slips where Konkani is introduced. Some don't. Where do I address all these kinds of issues? Then again, so many of these things come out. Where is the mechanism for us? Like as a Konkani is, we are a small community here. Now what happens on ideas mobile. We come for several functions like post, like mobile. We come under ideas and all. Even for post office, we come under Maharashtra as a main this state, and we are a sub-state. So we are still colonized in that sense. So what happens when we ask them, "Arey, तुम्हारा कितना लोग है, कितने लोग?" This is the attitude we have to face. So what happens is, in such cases, I want that on ideas. Marathi this comes, English comes. Why no Konkani is there? If tomorrow somebody will introduce, if I complain, but it will be again pathetic Konkani. Where as a citizen, as a Konkani person who wants these things to be inside this, where do I read? What is the mechanism? First is for asking for it. Second is for redressal mechanism. That is what I want you to take.
Okay. So, this is definitely, I'm not in any capacity to actually address the problem as such, but I have my own views on that. So I'll share it with you, right? And I'm quite right? Yeah. So what happens, right? We know in most of the cases, right? Like if you see, for instance, Amazon, right? The app that you have, Amazon, right? I'm just putting that name so that you'll follow me, right? Otherwise, like in my slides and all, I hide that name and brand name and do. But just for you to, because we are a small audience and right, you won't mind it, right? I'm not promoting Amazon or pulling it down. Okay, okay. So yeah, that I should make it. It comes in many Indian languages, right? You can change the language and you can simply look whatever product that you're looking at. You can see it in your language, right? What they will do is, right, they have some, there are things that regularly appear on their websites. Like for instance, product details, okay? The product details, in Hindi it is product vivaran, okay? In Tamil, product we will not write as product. We are more, we always translate, right? So most of the things in Tamil is product, it's translated. So, that's it's a known phenomenon, right? So what we do is, it's Tayaripu Vivarangal, right? The product thing is there. So the language kind of thing, everything. So these parts, what they have done, right? Things that will appear in all the products, okay? All the products things that will appear for all the products, they have translated them using, assigning it to human translators, at least post-editing with a human translator. Right? And they appear there. But the full details of the product, for instance, they sell neem leaves. Okay? Somebody sells neem leaves, fresh neem leaves. Right? And neem leaves, good for health. Okay? And its translation in Hindi will be neem acha chodta hai. I'm sorry for my pronunciation because I'm not a Hindi speaker. Acha chodta hai, leaves. Leaves is taken as a verb. Because you need to have a verb, no? Yeah. That English sentence didn't have a verb. Neem leaves, good for health. Neem leaves, sehat ke liye acha chodta hai, something like that. Like just to drive you home the point. Okay? This is often, it's not prepared or it's not there. I'm just giving you the example because I work, with this kind of things regularly. So what happens is, that is machine translated. And the machine faithfully tries to bring a verb to that sentence and does it. Right? Intelligence. Right? So that's why you need natural intelligence than artificial intelligence. Right? To keep things wrong, in that sense, wrong, without a verb. Right? You need natural intelligence. Right? That is one thing. I'll just finish this point. Yeah. So, but what happens, what I'm trying to say is, so now we know that they are using partly human translation, right? Or at least post-edited translation, where people have done it properly, right? Hindi mein product ko product rakhna hai, right? Not that, you have a word and you translate, it's not like that. They have kept it as product because somebody has intervened, taken a decision. A human has taken a decision. Human translator, expert has taken a decision to keep it as product. Okay? In Tamil, it has been translated because somebody has made a decision. That decision is by a human being, not the machine decided. Okay? But the remaining part, they have used machine translation, right? AA translation, whatever you call, right? From where do they source these translations, right? Like we saw, the GPTs, for instance, they are pre-trained transformers, right? Generating pre-trained transformers. They work on set of like data sets, language data sets, right? Which is digitext, right? The digital material in your language, they look at and they learn from it. Machines learn on their own. Part of it is supervised, most of it is unsupervised. Yesterday we were telling, like it's like a black box, right? Even those who have developed these AI tools at certain point of time, like for certain part of the like algorithm, they know the algorithm, but they don't know the results. They cannot check every of those results like and say that this is because of this, it has done that. That's the reality in AI development, okay? Right? AI development, part of it is supervised, slightly it is unsupervised. There lies the danger, okay? Another thing is, like, in technology wise, these are, like yesterday itself I said, like, that there is a technology, like the one works in bilingual, NMT, neural machine translation, works on bilingual data sets. Whereas GPTs and all work on monolingual data sets. And there is a technology called RNN, okay, recurrent neural networks. And that is different from what you use for images. Images are easy to process. You can use convolutional neural networks. That's the CNN is the thing. Whereas language has repetitive things, and there are antecedents, right, which affect what comes after, right? Whether like the name is there, and that's why you have a singular, plural pronoun and things like that, and recursive, right? Language can again and again it can go on endless, right? Adding adjuncts like that. So what happens is, like, the machine learns from all these things, okay? So machine uses this technology and learns from the content that is already there. Now, for somebody to learn something properly, you should provide proper content, right? So that responsibility is on us, especially like people who are using, right, online, like things, that you should now, like whatever be your mother tongue, right, Konkani or anything else like Marathi, right, any language that you use, like you should use your languages and you should use it responsibly, right? Write proper sentences always, right, at this specific time of the thing, because these tools are being developed and these tools are learning from the digital content that is there already available. So whatever you write, whatever you put up, don't tell me that your WhatsApp messages are encrypted and nobody is reading them. Okay, now you can go on believing that, of course, right? Technically, of course, yes, right? They are encrypted. No messages are read by others. Okay, that's the formal point. But the point is, like, whatever, like Facebook and any other things, especially like if you're not doing translation of any kind, I would love to see you starting at least Wikipedia content, right, where nobody condemns your translation or something like that. You can simply try your hand, right, and people will moderate, right, and try to get the best results. And if it is not relevant content, they'll remove it also. All those things they'll do, but you can fearlessly translate. Nobody is watching you, or nobody is stopping you. Nobody is trying to constrain you, right, with theories or anything like that. Whatever, like if you have not done any translation till now, that's the best place to start. But start, right, and generate content, right, in your language, which is properly written. Okay, we were discussing after sir's session, like all your people, those who presented very nicely. You have presented. One thing is that I'll come to you. I'll give you time, right? See, there's one Tamil paper, okay, newspaper called Dinatanthi, right? It's in online version, Daily Tanthi. Like that newspaper, even now it's one of the most circulated newspaper. Circulated, more than circulation, more readership, because it goes to the barber shops and all. Okay, like where one newspaper will be read by at least some 20 to 25 people in a day. Okay, most readership, which has more readership, right? Circulation, of course, another paper, right? So this paper, if you see, like if you read the news from the first beginning, right, to the end, it will sound like as if one person has written. It will sound like only one person has written. Why? Because of the editorial training, right? We have like done away with the clan of sub-editors, right? Anymore, like people directly, local news on a national newspaper, translated and submitted, and national news on local newspapers, right? Those kind of things in translation and direct submission. But it is like, if you see original writing in English, like in English newspaper also has all those mistakes that we have seen, like in translation, right? Because that we have done away with that clan of some people who look at the content and correct it. That editors, those, they are no more there in jobs, right? That job is not there. Like if you know the film Bombay, he's one of the editors. Like he'll be like, there'll be big boards like this, and the newspaper will be spread, and these people will be no more those kind of people you will find. So reporters directly submit, right, to the paper directly, and they take responsibility for it. So what do? You train them in the beginning itself. Like I said, for this, in this case of this newspaper, even today, right? It's not that it's foolproof and there is no mistakes and there are no mistakes in it. It's not like that. There will be sometimes writing mistakes and spelling mistakes and all. But otherwise, if you see the language, mostly it is good, and it will be like one person has written it. That kind of rigorous training in the beginning they give, and it is on us. Like if we take those kind of efforts and bring such content, right, publicly available for all these systems to learn from it, definitely your language will get good content. For instance, in the same Amazon app or even Axis Bank, ATM, right? If you choose Tamil, in Mysore I can work in Tamil for Axis Bank, what is that ATM interface, and it will say if there is no internet connection, it will say in Amazon app the same person has probably done it, same team has done it. It will say Achacho Inayam. Oops, no internet. That is translated in a very Tamil manner. And a dog will be sitting, idle, nothing can be done. Achacho Inayam. It's a very Tamil expression, right? They have done. It is possible to get these things when you behave responsibly.
But my other point was, there is a regressor mechanism. Now subtitling in a film I find very bad, commercial or film only, or whatever places I say. Where do I address this?
Yeah.
Because our constituencies try and understand, if it is a Maharashtra 11-12 crore population, they immediately, yes sir, we will take it. You are talking 15 lakhs, who cares?
Who cares? Let me come to that also, right? Don't, like, we shouldn't always have this, feeling that we are small.
No, we are not getting the feeling. You mean?
Yeah, the world is giving you the feeling.
Yeah, that is what.
That is fine, but you shouldn't take that.
They say consumer harming.
Like, fine, I agree, but you shouldn't take that. Like, for instance, these kind of things have been argued, like, majority, minority, right? Those kind of things have been argued, like, and argued especially with relation to Tamil language, right? And when people said, no, we should have majority, this thing, then the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu at that time, he said, like, which is the most common bird in India? The crow, no? And why is it not your national bird? Chuha is the most commonly available animal, right? And it is like it is part of our mythology. We respect Chuha. Some people worship, right? But it is not part of our. It is not our national animal or something. So that is one thing. Okay, majority minority. Second thing is, like, see, for instance, let's say Marathi itself. Like you'll say it's a small population, right, within India. Right? You say there are bigger populations. It's probably the biggest population in India. Right? So it is only the fifth. Right? So first four only will get the. If I make a claim like that, then Marathi will come down. Right? But the idea is, you see, like like he was telling, sir was telling yesterday, like he has visited many European countries. Like you see, like some of these European country population are less than the Konkani population. Okay. Like some of those European languages, right, for which all these facilities are available, their population is smaller than, the population of Marathis or, Konkanis, right? Yet they have made it available to them. right? So we have to represent ourselves in a way that we should, be recognized, right? So it is like, one through the official mechanisms, whatever, right?
I am going to stand up. Tell me where. For disability, I stand up.
Ah.
Next place, commissioner, central secretary for ministry. Like that, tell me. You go to this. This is what I want to ask.
So,
Yes, Seby,
Yeah.
you can answer.
Yeah, please.
official languages.
Yeah.
सर ऍक्च्युली जे आता क्रूजात उलयतालो पळय तेजेर म्हणजे आता सब टायटलिंग त्यांचे ऍक्च्युली तामील लँग्वेज ऍक्च्युली मेकॅनिझम जे ऍक्च्युली अशें आसा जे हॉलिवूडान आयज जे ऍक्च्युली आता फिल्म आता लॉन्च जाता इंग्लिश फिल्म त्यांचे 7 दीस भितर ते डबिंग आणि सब टायटलिंग जावन येता म्हणजे ते गव्हर्नमेंट लेवलाचेर जायना ते ऍक्च्युली प्रायव्हेट सेक्टरान जाता सो ऍक्च्युली हांगासर जरी तर आता म्हणजे कोंकणीन सो आता सब टायटलिंग जालें डबिंग जालें जावं वॉइस ओवर जालें ते ऍक्च्युली गव्हर्नमेंट लेवलार जायना नॉर्मली ऍक्च्युली एजन्सी ऍक्च्युली खंयची ऍक्च्युली घेता आणि मागीर ते ऍक्च्युली करून दिता
So that is why their numbers come.
Yeah.
So we have big faith. They will say how many.
सारकें
What I am saying.
Don't get bogged down by this.
No, I'm not getting, I am making. They should be aware about it.
True,
That's why I am
true,
raising.
true.
I can myself take.
I have the same feelings like you, right? Like I agree with you on that, right? We are on the same plane. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm trying to encourage them that you bring your content to the public, right? Platform, and make yourself like, we are people of Konkani speaking people. We'll write in Konkani, we'll read in Konkani, we'll put everywhere Konkani, and we'll accommodate other languages. That's another thing. This is your, like, if you have an ability to interact in 4 languages, that is your power. Okay, so that is your power, but don't lose your language for that, right? So don't misuse your power and lose your language, right? So but the thing is that if you make your language more and more visible, like, you may be a Marathi speaker also, like, and you should do that for Marathi as well, right? As a Tamil, I should do it for Tamil. So you make your content, right, available and more responsibly, right? And then the machines and all will be able to easily catch it up, pick it up, and that this is available and they cannot ignore you anymore.
So indirectly you are pointing out we don't have initiative.
True, true. Personal initiatives. You see, now I'm saying it as like partly as a Tamil, right? Okay. You see all those, like, software engineers in the Silicon Valley, many of them, like from South India, right? Tamil, Telugu, people, right? And most of them have blogs which are bilingual.
Yes.
They'll read an 80-page small old novel or something like novella, something like that. They'll put a review of that. By that, the old novel, the interest in the old novella, whatever, short story, even a short story if they have read, right? They will write it both in English and in Tamil, right? So the author, the novel, all those things are kept intact. Like, you have those memory of all those people carried to the next generation, as well as the review of it, written in a good Tamil, right? Influenced by one particular writer, I can say, right? Like that, all those things. No, the Tamil, all of us, like in the new generation, we are influenced by one particular writer. Okay, but that is how. But it's an interesting way of writing. Okay, he is supposed to be an engineer, that person, right? And who actually, in fact, was instrumental in this EVM machines that today we are discussing and debating whether to have it or not. No, that was first introduced for the labor union elections in BHL Bangalore. Okay, and this, like, Tamil writer I'm talking about was the engineer who supervised the development of that thing, in the 80s. Okay, they introduced the EVM machines there for BHL labor union elections, right? So those people, like, he was a batchmate of Kalam in the colleges, right? In St. Joseph's College, Trichy. One author by name Sujata, that's his pen name. He was a colleague of Professor Dr. Kalam, right? Because he has met Dr. Kalam. That's why I'm saying. So all those things. So what I'm trying to say is, like, one hand, we want official platforms to represent these, problems of us, right? Where people can redress, address our problems and things like that. One is the official mechanism, especially through the political way, right? That we approach, right? The government and things like that. So that is one thing, right? Another thing is, like, to create the demand for your language, right? That you use more and more. Why? right? At some point of time, Google was not there, like Konkani was not there in Google, now it's appearing, right? Right? If the same Google you use now, like then you correct, like they had a phase when now it is no more available. Now also it's available. You can give your feedback. Okay, you can actually correct, say yes or no. So if there is a wrong translation, take time to say that this is wrong and suggest good translation, alternate translations for that. It will correct itself. No, it's still available. So that way, okay. So these are, it should be a moment like that. You should feel the urge to, like do these things. Not, today I sat and this thing after that over. It shouldn't be like that, right? Every time you use your mobile, you try to use it in your language, right? Don't do WhatsApp, are kya hai, or are KYA, all those things you don't do because those things are available, right? Like, see, you can write it with your handwriting, in Gboard. I don't know how many of you have used it. You can do handwriting. I can display it right now on my phone. Like Tamil, I can simply write with hand. And it does better. Because many times some of these spellings and all, it will correct itself. Right? So, things have become easy to that level. Now, if we are not doing it, right, and like acting responsibly, that is your problem in that sense. Right? But this is time. Maybe you are not aware till now that these things are available, but now you should, right? So in that sense, right, see, dubbing, for instance, has been used, like subtitling has been used in, for instance, there is an NGO in Gujarat, okay, that use, dubbing for, subtitling for education purpose. Okay, there is like, they go to villages, all these, places where people are migrated from, migrated laborers, they stay, those people, for them, they have different subtitles, and for the Gujarati people, right? People in villages, what they do is they subtitle the film songs, right? And they like films and film songs, everything, and they sit with the people and show it, right, in the Gram Panchayat, the thing, and they watch with the people. And all these people, like, who are given basic literacy, they start reading those things, right? It's a real experience. There is a documentary on it. You can go to YouTube and find out also, but I have a separate documentary itself with me. I don't know if it is, the URL in this thing, but I have the documentary in my place. So there are like organizations like that who are using all these materials, right, to help people, right? So subtitling is something that requires literacy. This is one problem, okay? Like that, if you want to make this available through subtitles, then you require the reader to like know at least how to read. It starts from there. Then of course, what you do is you condense, like if there is a something that has been spoken, then you have to reduce it to 40 to 70% of that message. Only the main things, remove the jargons and everything, so that the reader can read, and as well as she can look at the picture and get the full meaning out of it. Right? It's not that simply all the time you read that and you didn't know what was happening in the picture. It's not like that, right? So there is a blend of these things. It's the mixture has to be well balanced. Of course, many things like that. Probably we leave it to the chair.
Thank you, Cruz. क्रुजाच्या लेक्चराचेर इंटरॅक्शनाचेर कोणा कितें आसता पळय तें आमी मागीर घेतले. सो आमचे कडेन मातशें आशिल्लें वेळाचें बंधन आशिल्लें. हांव आतां दुसरो जो आमचो ताणें आसा स्पीकर आसा विश्वदीप गोगोई हाचे कडेन. सो आमी एकल्याक विनंती केल्ली की एक्चुअली बाल साहित्याचेर एक्चुअली पेपर सादर करपाक खातीर, म्हटल्यार कितें काळाची गरज की बाबा हांगासर आतां हे 2 दिसांचे आमी आतां परिशद आयोजन केलें, जाल्यार हेजे फाटल्यान आमच्या भुरग्यांक एक्चुअली कितें मेळचें, तांकां फाल्यां हांगासरल्यान कॉलेज ड्रॉप आवट जावं आमच्या युनिवर्सिटींतल्यान भायर सरले तांकां ट्रान्सलेशन हो एक्चुअली करियर घेवं येता, जावं ते लोकलायजेशन जाल्यार तांकां एक्चुअली कितें तरी अर्थीक नदरेंतल्यान कितें तरी फायदो जावं येता. हाजेर आतां सो आतां विश्वदीप गोगोई आतां उलयतलो की ह्या हेतून संदर्भान ह्या क्षेत्रांत खंय खंय संदी आसा कोंकणी मनशा खातीर ताजेर तो उलयता. विश्वदीप प्लीज.
Thank you, Seby. So everybody has been a devotee of Saraswati here. Let me be a devotee of Lakshmi. So I'll talk about money. So we talked, I think, enough about theories and all other things and our ideology, what should be, what should not be. But I believe somewhere we have to think about money because translation does help a language to grow, language to develop, but we also have to grow. We have to fill our belly. So, with an empty belly, we cannot think about language development. I mean, we have to be practical, right? We need money to live our life. So my question in the beginning is whether we can make a livelihood out of translation and localization. So how many of you think that translation can be a career? Yeah, actually, I have gone through the profiles or bios of the paper presenter, and I saw actually a lot of them has worked on children literature. Actually, initially I was supposed to be talking on children literature. Then I thought some of them has already done so many things on children literature. So let me shift to translation and localization as a career. So let us see actually what is the opportunity for language student. Because what happens, I don't know here in Goa, who is studying Konkani in the degree level or master's level even, what kind of career they want to pursue. In Assam, I am from Assam, I see that most of the people who studies language can maximum, they can think that they will be a teacher in schools or assistant professors or professors in colleges and university, and beyond that there is no career scope. So I mean, and some of the students will simply leave the college and shift to other kind of profession, which has nothing to do with their education as such. So it's a waste of time, energy, and money. So as I said yesterday, in India, if we see the linguistics map, speaker of English in India actually is 10%, nearly 10%. So majority of India, that is 90% of Indian doesn't know English. So we need to translate those content, whatever is available in English and other languages or other major Indian languages, those need to be translated. So there is a huge need for translation. So if actually, frankly speaking, if nothing has been done in Konkani in the front of translation, then it is better for those budding translators. You will have more work. Tamil and all, already a lot of translation is there, so there will be slightly lesser work, but it will not be, because Tamil itself is a very big language and they are very aware of their language and culture. But if nothing has been done, so you be sure that there will be a lot of work in the future. So I'll skip this slide, what is localization and all. See, what is localization? If just to touch a example here. Like yesterday I was talking about how the date form is written in US. It is like month will be the first thing, then the date, then the year. On 4/13/2023, the cost of 2 pounds of apple was 4 USD, right? Here in localization, what we'll do? We'll have to modify the measuring unit according to Indian uses, then currency, then the date format, punctuation, and the number. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, what happens? See, we all Indian languages have their own numerical systems. Ek, do, tin in Hindi, like that. But now, majority of Indian languages has actually left that. They started using this Arabic numerals, or some now people would like to call Indo-Sino numerals. There is a fraction of people who try to say like that, because they said this Arabs actually got these numerical systems from India and China through the Silk Route. So that is one argument. So these things will be actually taken care of while doing localization. So why localize? Localize, there are various reasons why localize, but one interesting report, actually, if we see, it was published by CSA. CSA is a market research group called Common Sense Advisory. They published a report titled as Can't Read, Won't Buy. So when something is available in your language, you connect to that product. There are some legal requirements, of course. Some law requires those terms and conditions and other things to which we are agreeing as a user to be translated into the local language. That is the law. But otherwise also, we as a user or we as a buyer, we feel connected when something is available in our own language. So that is interesting that 72.4% people said that I would like to buy something that is about which the details has been written in my own language. This is very interesting. It's a psychology of buyers. So let's see the industry, how big it is money-wise. Morning session, the chairperson was telling that it is 4th or probably 5th largest industry in the world, and I don't know that figure. I have not studied that part, but if you see the size of the translation and localization industry in the world, one source, that is Statistia, you can get different kind of statistics of world economies and other market size and all. It projects as a, like in 2021, it is like 47.46 billion US dollar. I try to convert it to Indian rupees, it will be like nearly 4 lakh crore. That is a 4 month GST collection, near about, 3 months GST collection in India. And then the other figure estimation was given by CSA, Common Sense Advisory. They are projecting in 2021 it is 56.16 billion US dollar. These are huge numbers, huge. And these are not merely numbers. As I was saying yesterday, this amount of money was spent and earned. Somebody is spending, somebody is earning. That is more important here. It is not a simple estimation. This industry, it's not a valuation. It's not a paper valuation, stock valuation. It is about the money that is changing hand. So somebody is earning, and who is earning? The translators, the language service providers, the translation managers, everybody. So this is a huge amount of money. Then if you see in India, what is the scenario in India? Of course, India is a little tricky because in India you cannot talk about two things. So getting data is very tough. You cannot ask a lady about her age. It's a taboo. It's a don't. And you cannot ask a male about his salary, right? So very few people disclose their earning. So, but still, whatever data can be gathered from here and there, bits and pieces kind of data, so we can estimate Indian translation industry, it was estimated as 900 billion, that means nearly a billion, in 2013 itself. And if we extrapolate the data to see how much it will be in 2022, it will be like nearly 2 billion US dollar. That is like somewhere in between 15,000 crore to 20,000 crore in Indian rupees. And this is the growth graph of Indian translation and localization market, extrapolated out of those estimations. These are merely estimations because in India, let me very clearly tell you that this is nothing. Because India translation and localization market is very unorganized. Nobody knows who is doing what. Nobody files tax. No, majority of companies are not registered. They have no document, no setup, nothing. So 80% or even more of the Indian translation industry is unorganized, so there is no data about it. So this is only about probably 20% of India's translation market. But still, we can safely assume that this much of money is being spent and this much of money is being earned. So we'll skip this again. See, there are some very interesting quotes from Google officials. They said that English is over. there are only 200 million Indians who are proficient in English and they are already in the internet. Almost every new user that is coming online, roughly 9 out of 10 are not proficient in English. So it is fair to say that almost all the growth of usage is coming from non-English users. A similar type of quote, India's digital transformation will be incomplete if billions of Indians cannot buy or sell online, find jobs online, get net banking and digital payments, and get access to the government and information online, all in their own language. So, to cover this remaining 90% people, there will be a need of huge pool of translators in the coming future. Of course, some languages already started that process, or it has been going for last 5 to 10 years. But some languages like Konkani, if nothing has been done, then you are lucky. Actually, you can be among them who will start this movement. So in that sense, don't have to lose hope that okay. But I know you can always get back to Seby and Sneha, and these people are very experienced in the field of translation, and they can guide you how to pursue translation as a career. But see, if you add now YouTube, you see a lot of this kind of workshop or this kind of how many income stream you have, right? That kind of question comes. Now one person will pop up and ask you how many income stream you have. So now it is said that you need to have more than one income stream because prices has gone up, living standard is going up. You need to have a car, you need to have a bungalow, everything you need. So we need multiple income sources. Even if you are in a job, you can always pursue translation as a second stream of income. You can earn extra money. Then there's nothing wrong in earning extra money. You are working and earning. You are not cheating anybody, right? So even if you are a job in teaching or journalism, whatever you may be, you can always spare 1 or 2 hours in a day or 10 hours, 12 hours in a week. You can take up a couple of jobs and you can earn some money. But only thing is that, see, in India we have always been told that you only concentrate on study. Don't think about money. Money will come. That's what the children were told when they are young. Actually, we are wrong. We need to think about money. I say, it should not be a byproduct of our knowledge. We should also be taught how to use our knowledge to make money. We are only given knowledge in schools and colleges, but we are never taught actually how that knowledge we can utilize and we can earn more money out of it, right? So that is very much needed. So translation can be different in that sense. If you learn about translation or if you can master the craft of translation, it will actually help you to make money. So the question is, can translation be a career? Yes, of course. I personally know a lot of people who has been doing only translation and they're really doing well. How much a translator can earn? There is a small study done in US and they found that a serious translator can earn US nearly 50 to 55,000 US dollar. And they were giving a comparison that is almost the salary of a middle school teacher's salary in US. Okay. So how much a translator can earn in India? What is the middle school teacher's salary here in Goa? 60,000? School teacher salary, middle school, high school, 60,000, 70,000, or less than that, or more than that? No, but if you're a starter, 60,000. 20, 25. Okay, that is, okay. So yeah, see, okay. See, in India, right now, I believe if somebody want to pursue translation even as a secondary career, they can earn 50,000 rupees. I can guarantee you. But you have to be good. You have to be serious. You have to know how to use technology. Because what happens in India, there is a very kind of we have an idea that, oh, you are a student of Konkani, you are a student of Assamese, you are studying any language course. Why do you need to know like technology? Right? That kind of attitude is there, right? You are studying literature, you don't need to know computer. Why you need a computer? Why you want to buy a laptop? That kind of question you'll face in India. So, but I believe now this is the time where every Indian college or every Indian university should introduce a compulsory technology course, at least of 4 or 5 credit, so that student of language can actually master the art of technology using usage of technology, and they can utilize that technology while translating, because now nothing happens with pen and paper. When we talk about big localization project, everything done online, everything has to be typed, so you need to know typing. You may be a language expert, you may be a scholar, but if you cannot type in your computer, or if you don't know how to use a tool, because everywhere this cat tools will be used, so you will be left out. So you need to upgrade yourself, you need to know how these tools to be used. And for that, you will have to use different platforms. Like you have to take help from persons who can teach you how to do that. So suppose today evening you decided you want to be a translator. How do you do that? How you will start getting projects? One way is to use these portals. There are several portals like Cruz, Translators Cafe, Translation Directory, etc. And you can create your own profile. It's just like creating a Facebook profile. You can upload your best photo there. You can also list the language pair you will be working and the possible rate, how much you will be charging for each word or each hour. All those details you can provide there, and you can register yourself. And you will start getting their newsletters that contains different kind of jobs the companies will be posting. So you can start with that. Or else, if you want to try translation before doing this, you can always take his suggestion. Start with Wikipedia. You will not be paid, but at least you will get an idea how to start or how to do. Then you can move to this kind of portals. And this industry actually works on references quite a lot. It is a coterie. Don't take coterie in the bad sense, but it's a coterie. I need somebody who can work in Konkani, na? I'll first call him. Even Konkani may have so many translators, or maybe some of them may be better than him, but because I know him, I'll call him. So this kind of personal connection works. And another thing is that never think that somebody sitting in US asking you to translate into Konkani, you'll simply translate and send with rights and wrongs, thinking that, oh, that guy, what he will know about Konkani? I'll have to just get money, right? You will think like that. No casual approach. They will get it reviewed at least 3 or 4 times. And if they find any problematic thing there, typos and all is okay sometimes. It's a human mistake, human error. But if they find something really problematic, from next time onwards, you will not get anything from them. So you have to build your reputation. And after building reputation for 10 years, 15 years and all, then you can comfortably sit and you will be enjoying the fruits actually, whatever you have done in last 10, 15 years. So the good, bad and ugly, probably this is the last slide. So industry is fragmented, as I have been telling. Low penetration of computer and internet in India. Lack of universal standards of scripts and fonts, input devices and transliteration. Lack of formal language-based sight training, that is what I was telling. Language students are not expected to learn technology. No accreditation process for translation companies. No way to find out who is the good translator. Non-payment. There may be a company who will give you a job and ultimately they will not pay you. Company may be situated in Delhi or Mumbai. You cannot go. They are charging their office, right? So always check for something which is registered, which is accredited, like ISO certification is there. If ISO certification is there, they will always write that ISO certification details in their website. So then you will not be cheated. But otherwise, there may be some company, I heard some people talking about that they are cheated, they were not paid. If it is a small amount, okay, but if it is a big amount, then it's a very big loss for a translator. This happens. And good thing is that it is growing in a very high rate and job guarantees are increasing. Internet user in India are increasing. If you can see the figure, 2022 it became 48.7% of Indians have internet access. Means more Indians are coming into internet, and means market size of localization is growing. Then demand for multilingual web content. That actually Winston was talking about it, trying to talk about it. See, interesting figure is that Estonia, there is a small Scandinavian country, that Estonia has a language that is also called Estonian. Estonian has more web content than Hindi. It's a very small country with maybe a couple of million of population, means 20-30 lakh probably, not more than that. But web content, by amount of word content in that Estonian language is more than Hindi. So we cannot blame others, we have to blame ourselves. If we start at least blaming ourselves, then we can blame others, okay, to someone. But we cannot start blaming others and fixing our responsibility to somebody else. So if you can see that 60% of the internet is in English and with 8.5% is in Russian. These are estimations, not maybe exact figures. So Hindi is one of the big languages in India. It is nowhere there in first 20. Nowhere there. And Hindi itself is in such a position, you can imagine about other Indian languages. So it's a good thing in a sense for a translator, but for a language it is a bad thing. Because a translator may start getting more jobs translating those content once our internet usage and online presence grows. So that is a good thing for translators. Okay, and here it ends. So any question, comments and feedbacks will be welcomed. Thank you.
Thank you, Bishu. विश्वदीप गॉगोय यांचा आधी ट्रान्सलेशन वा एक्चुअली लोकलायझेशन ह्या एक्चुअली विशयान ह्या एक्चुअली क्षेत्रान आमी एक्चुअली कशें करायचे करियर कारकीर्द घडोवं येता ते एक्चुअली ताणें एक्चुअली सांगिल्लें आसा. स्वताचें म्हटल्यार आमी पयलीं एक्चुअली आमकां पयलीं एक्चुअली वेल इक्विप्ड करूंक जाय आमचे भाशे संदर्भांत उतरावळी संदर्भांत तशेंच एक्चुअली आमकां कॅट टूल्स जे एक्चुअली सांगले ताणें म्हणजे सगळे आतां ऑनलायन जाल्ल्यान सगळे म्हणजे हँड रिटन आतां कांयच चलना म्हणटकच आमकां एक्चुअली लेटस्ट जे एक्चुअली कंप्युटराचेर जे एक्चुअली सॉफ्टवेअर्स आसा ट्रान्सलेशनाचे यूज जाता तांचे कडेन एक्चुअली एक सांगात करचो पडटलो. प्लस आमकां स्वता बाबा आपूण एक एक्चुअली बरो ट्रान्सलेटर हें स्वता आमी मार्केटींग करपाचें आमचें स्वता रेपो घडोवपाचो. आनी एक मेन आसता पयलें की एक्चुअली हे सगळे एक्चुअली मल्टीनॅशनल कंपनीज आसा ते लोकलायझेशन कंपनी हे गोंयांत कांयच ना म्हणटकच आमकां हांगासरल्यान भायर वचोन काम करपाची एक मातशी मानसीक तयारी दवरची पडटली. प्रश्न आसले कोणाचे विचारूं येता. प्रश्न कोणाक ना जाल्यार एक्चुअली हांव एक्चुअली सत्र एक्चुअली हांगसर सोंपयता. विन्स्टन क्रूज आनी विश्वदीप जे गोगोय हांकां एक्चुअली काळजांतल्यान दिनवास दिता आमच्या राजभाशा संचालनाच्या वतीन.
प्रश्न आज जरी नासले म्हाका दिसता कांय दिसांनी तुमकां ते प्रश्न तुमच्या मेरेन आमी पावयतले. तुमचे कोणाचेय कितें प्रश्न असल्यार आमकां जर तुमी बरोवन दिल्यार आमी ते प्रश्न तांकां धाडून ताची जाप तांच्या कडल्यान मेळोवपाचो आमी प्रयत्न करता. आमचे फुडल्या सत्राचे म्हणजे वॅलिडेटरी फंक्शनाचे गेस्ट आयिल्ले आसात. हांव तुमचे लागीं मागता की सगळ्यांनी च्या घेवन 10 मिनटां भितर हॉलान येवन बसका घेवची. आमी वॅलिडेटरी फंक्शनाक सुरवात करतले. आय थँक यू सर. We will have a short break of 10 minutes and then we shall begin with the valedictory function.
One word, sir must be knowing it, but for others, subtitling one way that we should have subtitling is because we have people who have deaf and hard for hearing, like hard of hearing. There is a special subtitle called SDH, right? That's what we use. Like where you will see subtitles will come like, Allah, somebody shouts and this music and all those information comes. Na? You must have seen in some subtitles. That's especially for SDH. Yeah, door is opening and somebody shouts at the back. All those things are written in brackets. That's called SDH.